If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Your favorite words I would choke.
Happy Action Victory Monday. Woo! To everyone in the sports universe. It is September the 26th, 2022. This is the AM Drive on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook pages. 4 thumbs up, see me action. Thumbs up. Yes, again. I am Michael Carvilla saying, what's up, action man?
Good morning, Michael. You know, I got to give a quick shout out to all the moms, the wives, the women in the household or the single dads or whatnot who corral the children during NFL Sunday so that their husbands or sports fans can watch the games. Because I have my kids all weekend by myself, and it is hard to pay attention to all the football with the kids running around.
Hey, Mama Sammy. Woohoo!
I did the best I could, but man, they are a handful.
Oh, those are the best kids in the world.
I love them, but it's hard to watch football.
Right, so come on, like I don't care about your stupid snacks. Don't get it. No. Hey, this is a cool website, right, Sammy?
Very cool.
Oh, MikeandAaronDrive.com. I believe both these jerseys came from there too, right?
Yeah. Click in the F.
Click in the F, and that's just one of the things you can do on our mighty website, MikeandAaronDrive.com. It's our link tree, but we got a cute little nickname for MikeandAaronDrive.com. It's got our sponsors, shop, socials, and YouTube all in one place. Visit our website today and support the show. Thanks for doing that. So we have 4 games to talk about on this Action Monday. First one being Sunday Night Football. Carrie Underwood Sunday Night Football. Broncos defeat the 49ers. I know I said let Russ cook, but this was more about let's just hope Jimmy G doesn't have to. I mean, good God. He looked like he hadn't started a game ever in his life. I'm like, I thought this guy was like the creme de la creme of his team, and think almost like hey, low key good thing Trey Lance. I'm like, wow, what the crap? That is not the same guy. And that Broncos defense, sure, they played Geno Smith and Davis Mills well. Come on, man. You're the veteran. What happened, Sammy? That can't be just playing Denver.
We found out that the G stands for garbage in Jimmy G, and we also found out why the Niners were so high on Trey Lance and were so insistent that he was going to start this year.
Told you.
Yeah, Jimmy G's a pedestrian backup. I mean, he's not an NFL starting quarterback right now. I mean, last year he played well. He was not the reason they won, but he wasn't the reason they lost. And if you have to put the ball in his hands, you're not going to win games.
Yeah, and this showed that, like, I forgot. I think he fumbled at one play. The next drive, he threw like one of the stupidest interceptions. I don't even know what he's doing. I forgot what happened the last drive, but it wasn't pretty either. It's just like, dude, again, your entire. I wonder why George Kittle was not involved again. They're so hell bent on running the football, Sammy. I haven't seen George Kittle in a while in this offense. He might have a game every 5 games, but it's like, where has he been at in the offense? I mean, he cannot be that hurt.
I don't know how hurt he is. He definitely didn't play well. In the highlights I saw and watching the game live, he wasn't open a lot. So I mean, I know they were shifting their focus towards him, but their defense was amazing. The Broncos defense played fantastic.
Broncos D was good, but again, like when you play Davis Mills and Geno Smith in weeks 1 and 2. I know you're in Denver, but man, Russell Wilson did everything. They did everything they could to lose the game too.
I mean, Nathaniel.
Besides the last drive, that Russell Wilson got a touchdown, but still.
I have a lot of complaints about NFL coaching this week, and Nathaniel Hackett is awful. He is an awful head coach. I am shocked that he still has a job. And the thing is, like, their defense bails them out in this game when he calls for the worst games you can ever. It's just terrible. Mm-hmm. I don't understand how these coaches don't understand how game flow works, how you can clock manage properly. I mean, it's ridiculous. 17-year-old kids who play Madden know better.
Yes, they
It's
do.
terrible. It's terrible.
You still play Madden, right? You play Madden?
I haven't played Madden in years, but
Oh,
I used to. I used to play Madden as a kid, but in Madden, like at least you learn like how to use the clock properly. Yeah, I was yelling at my TV. There's 2 minutes and 6 seconds left on the clock. You know, the Niners have all 3 timeouts, and Nathaniel Hackett's running the ball with a running back dive up the middle for no apparent reason. I mean, throw the football. There's literally no reason you shouldn't throw the football here. You can burn all 6 seconds, maybe more. You can get a first down. You can move the ball down the field a little bit so that you give them a longer. It just makes no sense. So you would run the ball there. It doesn't burn timeout. It doesn't help you get a first down. It's just bad play calling. It makes no sense to me.
I agree with that. It does make no sense because me and Aaron have talked about it. Like, didn't they give up like a bunch to get this guy named, I don't know, Russell Wilson? And didn't they like hire a coach who, I don't know, was an offensive minded guy with Nathaniel Hackett? Like, what do we do? This conservative crap, but then remember they have Jerry Jeudy and all these guys, but it's like they're non-existent right now. Like, out of all teams that are winning ugly games right now, hello Colts, this is like the team that should not be doing that whatsoever. And they've got 2 of the ugliest wins you can see in NFL history, man. It's just gross.
Yeah, I mean that game last night was really hard to enjoyable defensive battle. Not the Bucks Packers, where if you felt like it was 1 play away from breaking open, these quarterbacks couldn't move the ball. I mean, they just did not play well. Defenses played great. And on a side note, that game should have been a scoregami. I'm so bummed. There was one other time that score ever happened, 11-10. And so, yeah, and if you look it up, that game ended kind of controversially. So, 11-10, we should have saw a scoregami last night.
That's a fair point. And so why do you say the scoregami was not a thing before? Because the broadcast mentioned that it was with the Chargers game years ago.
Yeah, the Chargers game that ended 11-10, I think it was like 2007, 2008. On the last play of the game, Phillip Rivers throws a pass. They get a lateral. LaDainian Tomlinson laterals it to I forget who. And Troy Polamalu knocks the lateral out of the air, picks it up, and runs it back for a touchdown. So the game should have ended 17-10. The referee threw a flag for an illegal forward pass on the lateral, but there was no illegal forward pass. It was an erroneous call that the NFL and the referee both admitted afterwards was a mistake. So that touchdown should have stood, and the final score of that game should have been 17-10, which would have made last night's game 11-10 as the only time in history it's ever happened. So the refs in 2008, they ruined it for us last night.
No!
I always look forward to scoregamis. They're a fun thing to kind of track.
Yeah, it's like when baseball history happens, it just doesn't happen very much.
Yeah, I mean, because of the nature of football being, 3s and 7s, you don't get too many odd scores anymore. But yeah, that one should have been one.
Fair enough. Let's take a quick break so Sammy can rejoin the action here because his connection is brutal. When we come back, we're talking Packers and Brady Rodgers' possible last duel, whatever duel was yesterday. Colts beat the Chiefs and the Dolphins. Won a pretty nasty game. We'll be right back. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah, you want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
If you want the best in sports merchandise like these awesome, guys say sexy jerseys, you've got to go to MikeandAaronDrive.com and do what?
Click the F.
Woo-hoo-hoo! You got to click the F. When you click the F, the entire Fanatics experience is at your disposal. So go there, get your stuff, support your team and us. And for that, we thank you. MikeandAaronDrive.com. So, Packers beat the Buccaneers. I put Rodgers Gator Mouth Brady because Aaron's not on the show today. But this game, in the end, you could tell Tom Brady was he had just one guy to throw to. But he made a point before this game that even the commentator mentioned. He was like, playing with Cole Beasley, who they signed like 3 days ago. I feel like I've been playing with him for 20 years. Gee, Tom. Just say he's a white guy who gets open. Come on, man. Don't do that. You've been playing with these guys for years. Of course you feel like you've been playing with him for 20 years. He's literally Julian Edelman, Chris Hogan, Scotty Miller reincarnated into Cole Beasley. He's always been that guy. So I can see that happening. But, man, I just feel like, why are the Packers doing this? I know Buccaneers do this is insane. But Packers are doing it. They don't trust Aaron Rodgers anymore. And I don't know why. He's like a back-to-back MVP. And they just don't trust him. It's all physical. Unless you're going to air it out in the playoffs, this seems like the first 2 weeks, they're very conservative with Aaron Rodgers, and I don't understand why.
Well, they have nobody who can get open. Neither team. If you watch that game, neither team had open receiver all game long. The defense played pretty fantastic in that game, but yeah, the Packers were using the guy Dobbs, who nobody really even heard of. Christian Watson, I don't even know if he had a catch. The receivers are terrible on both sides. Russell Gage was a castaway in Atlanta, and he was the best receiver on the Bucs side.
Ooh.
The receiving core on both these teams were pretty terrible. As a matter of fact, I really feel like I missed the boat on betting under in this game.
I said Rodgers would win. Well, I said Packers would win. I said it'd be an ugly game, one of the ugliest games of the week. And I'm not surprised this turned into like a poop fest because it was just, if you wanted to see Rodgers and Brady, it's not what you got. Let's be fair. Now, you got to see Brady at the end. And even in the end, I love how he was waiting for that one final call to go his way. And the ref's like, no, we're good. They got like 3 calls on that final drive, and he's just waiting on the field. And then like, oh, you guys aren't now you're not going to call nothing. Like, come on, man. Quit doing that.
I've been continually hammering these play callers, but the Bucs went right down the field on the last possession. It's so weird. Why not call plays like that all game long, right? Why not go into the hurry up, use your aggressive play calling, have Tom Brady throw the ball? Like, it makes no sense to me. They literally, when the Packers knew they were going to throw, which is when they can play a defense set up to protect against the throw, Brady carves them up. But all game long, they want to play this conservative crap where they can't move the ball. It makes no sense to me.
That goes to my point that maybe the NFL is a little bit rigged. It's like, golly, dang, dude. It's funny because before that game happened, I was going to text you guys and I forgot to. I was like, why is it like in the 2-minute offense, all of a sudden teams just resurrect themselves? Like, oh, we've been waiting to do this the entire game. What? Like, what? Maybe they're just feeling around. Maybe it's the adjustments at halftime or something. That like I don't know.
The interview back when the Greatest Show on Turf won, right? When Mike Martz was the offensive coordinator of the Rams. And in the preseason, before Trent Green got hurt, they were talking about how their offense was going to be really good. And what he said was, we realized our 2-minute stuff was basically unstoppable. And so Mike Martz implemented it for the full game. And you saw what the Rams did in that first season when they implemented their 2-minute offense as their full game plan. They just tore up the NFL. I just don't understand why.
Was it Jared Goff too, or was that with Stafford?
Sorry?
Was that with Jared Goff or Stafford?
No, this is back when Mike Martz and Trent Green were the
quarterback.
And then Kurt Warner ended up becoming the quarterback after Trent Green got hurt. Right. And he was a backup who never played in the NFL, and he basically won the MVP on the fact they threw the ball 40 times a game, and just they lit up the NFL playing this 2-minute offense all game long and won a Super Bowl and went to a second Super Bowl. You would think somebody would have learned something from this.
It's a bit weird. But you're right about that. But I do wonder if, like, the adjustments in that 2-minute drill, because you obviously have to work on in practice too in the clutch. So I wonder if, like, certain teams' defensive 2-minute drills are just not as good.
I mean, you would think that. I don't know. You'd think that if your offense is better in the 2-minute drill, the defenses are expecting throws. They're also going to be better, but it's just not the case. I mean, teams go right down the field.
That's a good point. I'm not going to harp on that anymore because that's just ugly to think about. But I'm like, makes you kind of wonder sometimes.
I mean, the Raiders couldn't move the ball all game against the Titans, but down 8 with the ball and 2:40 left, they went right down the field and scored a touchdown.
Don't tell me that. I mean, you're making it worse.
Even Matt Ryan scored a touchdown when they needed one at the end of the game.
Shiver me timbers. That's a great transition, Timmy. Matty Ice. Hey, if I love this Angel Lock jersey, but if I could just like cut this like one off, I'd be good.
Mike, I don't know what's going on the other side of that camera, but maybe we should just focus on football.
Oh, come on. No, you dirty man. Hey, so the Colts, I told people I wasn't going to give them betting advice, but what I did tell them was, don't be surprised if the Colts make this ugly and play keep away. And that's what they did. We still had no Shaquille Leonard. But, it almost helps a quarterback, hi, Tom Brady, to have your best receivers on the field. Even if their names are Michael Pittman and I forget the other one's name. But it kind of, Alec Pierce, the rookie. It kind of helps when you have those guys on the field, wouldn't you say, Sammy?
Michael Pittman proved to me, at least from watching this game, that he is a difference maker for that offense because they looked awful with him out, and they at least looked decent with him in. I mean,
thank you.
Matty Ice did not make the big mistakes that he's been making in previous games. Right? He still got sacked, I think, 4 or 5 times, but he didn't throw the big pick. He didn't have the big fumbles. And they were able to at least punt the ball and give themselves a chance to play real defense. And if they avoid those turnovers, this is a playoff caliber team. Matty Ice has been unable to do that in the first 2 games, which is why they had no wins. But good on them. They played well. They definitely held Mahomes and company in check.
And Mahomes actually could not do the 2-minute drill in that final part of the game, which I was impressed about. I was like, wow, Colts defense is pretty good.
Yeah, the Colts defense is really good. And, people have been hammering road favorites in the NFL for the last couple of years, and I think they've been winning. But it still holds true to me that if you're a playoff caliber team, being at home is still an advantage. And it's hard to beat a good playoff team at home. Titans proved it yesterday. Colts proved it yesterday. It's tough to go into their building and win a tight, tough, close game.
What if I told you the Colts only have 1 loss this season? And it's funny because you look at the media. Sammy, I hate doing this again because we just talked about the 2-minute drill being all fishy. Isn't it weird how the people who the NFL pays to talk about their game kind of paints this narrative that the Colts suck and blow it up, and then as soon as they got people thinking that, the Colts aren't that bad after all, and then people like me say, I told you so. It's almost like the NFL front office say, hey, paint this picture for the drama, even though we know the game's going to play out better than that.
I'm sorry, I cannot possibly agree with you. They lost.
I'm saying they rig it.
No. I'm saying your point. They only have 1 loss to me is ridiculous. They played Jacksonville and Houston. They played Jacksonville and Houston.
Did Justin Herbert play yesterday? I'm confused.
They played.
Hey, Justin Herbert play yesterday? I'm confused. Hey, Justin Herbert play yesterday? I'm confused. Hey, who? Wait, did Justin Herbert play yesterday? I'm confused.
I mean, barely. He
Oh,
was
give me a
obviously
break.
hurt.
No, he's not obviously hurt. He is okay.
No, he
He
played
is good.
terrible.
He's a tier 2 quarterback, which I keep saying he's not that guy yet.
I mean, he didn't play like a tier 2 quarterback. He played terrible.
That's good for him. Dude, I'm telling you, the Jaguars are not a bad team.
I agree
Like,
with you.
and even the Texans, like, they've got Lovie Smith, who's a physical coach.
But when you say not a bad team, you're talking about a team that's still going to win, I don't know, 7 games, Jacksonville, right? They're going to finish about 500, probably slightly below 500. They're not a playoff team, right? And so you have a win against Kansas City, which is amazing, but you have a loss against a team that has 0 wins, and you have a tie against a team that has you have a loss against a team that's not a playoff team in Jacksonville, and you have a tie against a team that has 0 wins. So I mean, you can't say they played well this season.
Another thing I want to mention, a lot of people, because you're part of Fantasy Talks outside of the show, because we don't do a lot of fantasy talk here. Isn't it funny how like Jonathan Taylor was like, "Oh, pick him number 1." I've told people, watch your mouth. He was again very pedestrian. He had a couple of nice runs. He had 91 total yards. We had touched the ball 25 times or 30 times finally, Frank Reich. Thank you very much. You might get 91 yards. Like, same with Saquon Barkley in his rookie season. Yeah, he would break off a 70-yard every now and again. But he was pedestrian for most of the game.
Yeah,
it's not the word blocking is terrible right now.
I agree with you. I don't have any Jonathan Taylor in any drafts. I didn't get a top 3 pick in any of the drafts I did, but I don't really have an answer as to why he's struggling so bad. I mean, their offensive line is supposed to be very good, and especially when you supposedly added a passing threat in quarterback, you should be able to run the ball a little bit better, and they have just not been able to run block at all. Or pass block, to be honest. I mean, Matt Ryan's on his back every game. I mean,
okay.
I think he got sacked 5 times again. So their offensive line definitely is not great. So I don't really have an answer as to why Jonathan Taylor can't run the ball. It's incredible to me.
I noticed they're just not opening holes for him. Like you look at the right guard yesterday. I think it was 63 Pinter or whatever Pinter. Then you got like mauled like 3 times in the game. Like just usually like you get the pancake stat for offensive lineman on Madden. He got pancaked himself like 3 times.
I mean, look, Jacksonville showed that Houston showed they can be run on. I mean, they've been run on by every other team they've played, and Jacksonville got run on a little bit too. So I mean, it's not like they're playing these great run defenses. The Chiefs have a good defense. I mean, they do.
I agree. They're playing really good this year.
For sure, but even still, they're much better pass defense than they are run defense. So, I mean, Jonathan Taylor's had opportunities to have big games. It just isn't. On a fantasy perspective, he's definitely been a bust, and I'm not sure really why. As a matter of fact, I played against him this week, and I'm going to win on the fact that he didn't do much. So, for that, we thank you.
Right, and for that, we thank Did you see Chris Jones play on the last drive? I mean, Chiefs fans, this is so horrible. I'm like, if you're right, literally there are 2 referees. Let's call them zebras. There are 2 zebras right there. After Chris Jones helps with a sack, he slams Matt Ryan to the turf. They get back up. Matt Ryan says one thing. Chris Jones barks, then looks at the ref and looks like this, and the ref throws a flag. Yeah, he's going to call it, pal. He's not back here. He's right there in front of your face. You stare down him. You cuss out Matt Ryan. You don't think there's going to be a flag?
I mean, I don't know that his conduct was necessitated a flag, but the fact is you have to be smarter than that, right? You're an NFL player. You cannot give the referees an opportunity to throw a flag on you in that specific situation. And so, that bad on him. I mean, I'm not saying that he was the one that cost him the game, but he certainly gave the Colts a chance to win it. And he shouldn't do that. It's terrible play on his part.
But one call I agree is kind of foolish. Like, even the Rams and Saints playoff game, you can't blame it on that one missed call. Like, there were so many opportunities, and they just didn't capitalize. But yeah, he was sarcastic in his interview, but he did mention in seriousness that he has to be a veteran. Like, he can't give him the opportunity to do that. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, Chris Jones should know better. It's not like he's a couple years back we had that one player who was like staring down the sideline and got given a taunting call. That's ridiculous, right? That's the referee trying to become the star of the show. in this situation, the referee did what he's supposed to do, which is, penalize the guy who's acting like a fool. And so, I don't have a problem with the flag. I do have a problem with the conduct of Chris Jones.
I think the flags also, real quick, before we move to our final game, which also had referee implications. Actually, let's just move to it. Dolphins game. I think refs call flags to limit things happening. And one should know, if they had done this early in the Dolphins-Bills game, this would have been a lot less ugly. This game was pretty brutal. You've got Tua, who I know super slow motion makes it look worse. Matt Milano, it's clear, did not have to do what he did while Tua was midair. Let's be fair. Even if it's super slow or not, Matt Milano is a very good player. He knows how to control that. Another thing, Chase Edmonds gets literally blindsided by safety, looks woozy afterwards. He comes back in the next place for a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, helmet popped off. He's like this going to the sideline. And I think there was only a call on 2 of the 4 plays that I saw. I'm like, what are we doing? This is why the refs call this stupid stuff. Because this happens all game long and it's getting worse and worse. I'm like, I don't know what those refs were seeing, but this game was a lot uglier than it had to be late.
Yeah, I mean, I think you had mentioned it off camera that the Players Association is opening up an investigation into the concussion protocols of this game, because it doesn't seem like they had any concussion protocol in this game. Nobody even, I don't think anybody was even in the blue tent long enough to get tested. It was pretty ridiculous. But I've never seen the heat affect a game quite like this. That
was bad.
Yeah, I mean, the heat index, I guess, in Miami was crazy, and both teams struggled mightily, keeping themselves hydrated, cramps, exhaustion. I mean, you could see both guys were just exhausted. At the end of the game,
Josh Allen afterwards was laying his head on Tua's shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, you could see how tired Josh Allen was, and Josh Allen played a pretty good game. And I mean, yeah, they were just beat. So I mean, I know those teams put everything out on the field, but hey, man, Miami's 3-0. Let's give it up for Miami. They've played well. They played tough teams, and they've won every game. So I give them a lot of credit.
I know people want to talk about Tyreek Hill. And this game does not have a lot of Tyreek Hill in it. I want to tell people that it's time to respect Tua officially. I mean, he made some throws in that game that quarterbacks just are supposed to make, like the good ones are supposed to make. Even on the cover 2 to Jalen Waddle, Jalen Waddle beats the defense, but that ball has to be thrown pretty accurately for 50 yards down the field. If it's to the left or to the right, that guy's closing fast on the left side. And then the dart to the end zone to the guy who's got 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks off the practice squad, those were some pretty nice throws by Tua.
They certainly were. Tua has played very well. But can we talk for a second again about game management and time management skills? Because it's really frustrating, right? The Bills miss out on a field goal at the end of the half because they can't control the clock properly. They miss out on a field goal to end the game because they don't know how to control the clock properly. I mean, come on, guys. You're NFL players. This is not hard stuff. Right, you have to know the time and down situation. Your players have to know whether or not to get out of bounds, or in the last play of the game.
First half, the last play was bad.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen fumbles the snap, so he decides to throw it because he thinks he ran out of time. You have to know how much time you have left. I mean, he should have spiked the ball. It's obvious, right? I know in the moment, it's hard to know that, but these guys are paid lots of money to know that. That's the point. And then the last play of the game, McKenzie decides to try to run and get out of bounds. Just fall down. There's 18 seconds left to start the play.
He fell down 3 times before, so why couldn't he fall down now?
Right. I mean, you give your kicker a shot. I mean, it's still a 55-yard field goal, but so what? Better than having the clock run out. The play to 18 seconds, right? Everybody should know if you get the ball in bounds, just go straight down. We can get up and spike it and get another playoff. It's not hard. It's just incredible to me. These players and these coaching staffs mess it up all the time.
Yeah, that was inexplicable. Even Josh Allen said afterwards, it was tough. The whole game was tough, he said. But he took some blame too. He's like, yeah, we gotta know that stuff.
Absolutely. I mean,
NFL's got a lot of good teams, though. They've got a lot of really good teams.
Oh yeah, Buffalo's a really good team, and Miami's a really good team too. This is going to be a good divisional race. I mean, you guys all laughed to put Miami ahead of Buffalo, in my rankings, but I still kind of feel that way. I think Miami's better. Miami. Yeah.
Also, one last thing before we say goodbye to tomorrow's Top 5 Tuesday. I feel like Miami won the game on red zone defense. It seemed like they knew they were going to be carved up. and Josh Allen, I think, had like 1 touchdown pass.
I don't remember his stats, but
He had like
did throw.
400 yards, 63 pass attempts, and like 1 touchdown pass, if that. I'm like, that's pretty good red zone defense.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of times I really felt like the play calling was lacking, trying to get them in the end zone. I know they didn't make it on the 4th and 1 from the 1. They had plenty of opportunities to get in the end zone. I mean, they cost me my bet this week. I had over in that game, and I was kind of pissed about it. But they had every opportunity to fly over, despite the weather, the cramping, and the concussions. They still played a pretty good offensive game, but they just couldn't punch it in. Good on Miami's defense.
I did have the under because I knew it was going to be a physical AFC East battle. That was the only reason I picked the under in that game.
It was a good pick, but yeah, I still feel like I had teased it down to 47 or whatever. I only needed really like one more touchdown to make it reasonable, and there was lots of opportunities, lots of missed opportunities that didn't go into the end zone. So that's okay.
I'm sorry, Sammy. Go Colts, baby.
Yeah, I had Titans money line, so I still did okay this weekend.
One last thing, I will do this on Wednesday when Aaron comes back to shaving cream pie that I missed because Vanderbilt sucks. But yeah, I'll see you guys. We'll see. Actually, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and Sammy will have his top 5 list provided as well, as will Aaron. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys.